All right, I'm here with Spencer B from SB Mowing. How you doing, Spencer?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. I've seen your stuff before. I mean, a while back, and then probably I don't know a couple months ago. I think my wife Candace showed me one of the pressure washing videos.
Yeah.
Because we had just pressure washed our fence. I'm like, this is so satisfying. And then kind of went down the rabbit hole. I'm like, oh wow, he's from Wichita. So, anyways, who is Spencer? Who is SB Mowing? Tell us just a little bit about you.
Yeah, so I'll start with me. Born and raised in West Wichita. I'm a West Sider.
I'm an East Sider, so I
Nice.
guess.
That's okay. That's okay.
we can be friends.
Yeah. I went to Mays
Okay.
Mays schools,
Yeah.
and then I started mowing lawns back when I was 11 years old, just with my buddy. We were super excited. We always just kind of had the entrepreneur itch and wanted to just get out and make some money as a kid. So we went and knocked on some neighbors' doors and asked if we could mow their lawn. And we got one guy, and so we just started by using our dad's little push mower and his little weed eater and stuff. So we started doing that, and it just kind of grew, or just started growing. We started getting some more clients, and we eventually split up and just started doing it on our own. And so I kind of had my business, he had his business. And I mean, for a long time, it was me either pushing my mower around or my dad driving me just every weekend back and forth to different lawns. I think maybe at that point I probably got up to like 3 or 4 or 5 lawns, something like that.
Yeah.
And then, throughout high school, I was just doing that to save up some money. I bought my first car with that money I saved up, which was super cool. And then once I got my driver's license, I could finally, start doing it myself. So I learned how to drive my dad's stick truck and started expanding from there. I probably got up to like 10, 15 lawns in high school that I was doing every weekend.
Yeah.
And my brother would start helping me, and we eventually got a little Hustler $500 riding lawnmower. I got a Facebook Marketplace, and I got a little Harbor Freight trailer to go with it.
Yeah.
And so we were just mowing lawns every weekend. I was, making good money for a kid, making real good money. And eventually I got a scholarship to K-State and ended up going to K-State for computer science. And I needed some people to kind of help me keep the business running because, I was going to drive back every weekend to do it.
Yeah.
But I wanted to continue to grow it somehow. So I got a couple family friends that were 3 or 4 years younger than I was. So they were still in high school. So they kind of helped me run it during the week, like in the weekends. And I would come back in the weekend and help out as well. So, we got up to, I think we got up to like 50 or 60 accounts that we were doing. Like,
It's incredible, yeah.
Yeah, we were doing a great job.
It's like a real business.
It was awesome. I had multiple employees. I was paying taxes, paying payroll stuff. I learned how to do all that, which was a lot, especially as a college student. But I eventually graduated college, 4 years later, and I got a job as a mobile developer. I was working remotely for a company that is based in Chicago, but the owner was here.
Oh, cool.
And so I was doing mobile development, and I always wanted to start like a YouTube channel or social media channel. And I tried, like, in college, I was into like personal finance and stuff. So you can probably find some of those videos if you look for them.
I'm definitely going to dig those up.
But so I tried personal finance, and it just wasn't fun for me.
Yeah.
It was, doing the research on it and like putting together like a script. It was also just not natural for me. Like,
Sure.
I love personal finance, but it wasn't my thing to make videos on.
Yeah. I had a friend that he started a channel as well. I interviewed him on the podcast a couple years ago, but he wrote a book called Young, Dumb, and Not Broke.
Yeah.
Which is very clever. And it was a great like personal finance book. And he started a YouTube channel, and it started to grow a lot. But I think he got kind of burned out. He might still be doing it, but some of the stuff was like, you could hop on the trends, and that's how you would like shoot up the charts.
Yep.
So you could make a video about like Bitcoin or something. And it's hot right then, but it's like, okay, how much do you actually like care about it? Or, like, how much are you actually passionate about?
I did a Bitcoin one.
There we go.
But yeah, so I graduated college in May of 21, and I was working, full time for, probably like 6 months. But in August, I was just getting the itch. I'm like, man, I really want to start a YouTube channel. I saw a couple other guys. Shout out to Lawn Care Juggernaut, Top Notch Lawn Care, Phil's Lawn Care. Those guys had some lawn care channels, and they were just doing the thing that they were just going out and helping people out for free. I'm like, hey, that'll be cool. Like, what if I just go do this like once a week and just make a video out of it? Like,
Yeah.
I think honestly, at the time, I didn't think it would go anywhere. I just thought it would be cool to like start a YouTube channel and maybe get a small following. And so my first TikTok video got almost 7 million views.
The first one?
The very first one I posted. I'm like, what? This is crazy. I was, checking all the comments consistently. And then that YouTube video did pretty well. I got like 10, 20,000 views on that. And then my second video I posted on YouTube, and it's my second most watched video right now. It's I think in the first month it got up to maybe like 5 million views, but it's up to 13 million views now. And that first month I got 60 million subscribers on YouTube, and I got monetized, and I made a little bit of money that first month. I'm like,
wow,
whoa, like this is weird. Yeah. So I kind of weighed my risk versus reward, because I was having a lot of fun doing it.
Oh,
it was so cool.
And there's like the high of it, right? Like just going viral, but it's like sounds like consistently kind of viral, and like, especially off the bat. That's so cool.
Yeah. So I actually bought a duplex the year before, and I was living out of it. Actually, no. I bought a duplex that year, and I was living out of one side, renting out the other side. So I didn't have many expenses. I wasn't married yet. I didn't have kids, So I just thought, I'd take the risk and quit my full-time job and just go for it.
So how quickly after you started did you quit?
So I did an internship from January to May, and then it turned into full-time. So from May to October.
Mm-hmm. Wow, so pretty short, 5-6 months. Wow.
Yeah, so I probably worked 5-6 months full-time, and I saved up some money. So I'm like, I've got a buffer if it doesn't work out, I've got some money saved up to where I can just go get another job or something.
So how'd that conversation go? You're like, hey, I'm quitting to be a YouTuber?
Yeah, what did your boss say? I built a really good relationship with with the guy that owned the company, and we'd get lunch once a month, and we were both like very entrepreneurial, spirited, and stuff like that. So we, he had no idea that I was doing YouTube. He knew I kind of had an idea of starting, and so I kind of got him on a call because we were working remotely. And it was really hard to tell him. I'm like, so I started a YouTube channel. It's doing really, really well, and I think I want to kind of pursue it full time and just kind of take the risk and jump off the deep end right now while I can. And he was really understanding. It was really hard for me to do because I love that job. It was awesome, and it was my first job. So it was tough. It was very tough.
And we were just talking about this before this, but how much you're working right now. But I guess, what was the biggest benefit other than, you loved your old job, you love making videos. Like, was it the flexibility, the time freedom? What did you enjoy the most from that transition?
Yeah, I needed the time to be able to put my time into making better videos and to actually making quality videos that people are going to want to watch. Because I was, working 9 to 5.
Yep.
During my lunch break, I'd go grab my trailer and my mower, just so it'd be ready for right when I was right when I was off, I could go mow. So that second video that completely went viral on YouTube for me, I remember it took me 4 or 5 evenings, like Monday through Friday. I'd work 9 to 5 at my job. I'd get off. I'd go immediately to this lawn because I'd have an hour and a half, 2 hours till it started to get dark.
Sure.
And I did that, Monday evening, Tuesday evening, Wednesday evening, Thursday evening, Friday evening.
Right.
And then, it took me another day or two to edit the video. And it was just a time thing. I wish I could do all the things in the world, but, time's one of the only really limited things that you have. So
absolutely. How has the format changed? I don't know if I've watched these early ones. So how has the format changed? I think now you kind of have you almost do like a green screen. You're kind of talking to the screen, introducing it. You go talk to the neighbors. You kind of have the time lapse, and then at the end you kind of show the before and after. Has that always been the format? Or how does that?
No, it hasn't always been the format. So right when I got started, I just kind of did, I started just immediately working on the lawn, and just like normal, cut to each section, and I would just do a voiceover, just kind of telling the story. Mm-hmm. And I got a lot of comments, I want to see the homeowner's reaction.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Spencer, you're a star. We want to see your face. Because I wouldn't even talk to the camera. So it took about 6 months to kind of get I'd say 6 months to a year to kind of get my style down, kind of get my format down. Now I try to get the natural interactions of the homeowners or neighbors if I'm doing a vacant property. Just because people like seeing just from like start to end, like how I even find the properties,
Right.
how I'm even talking to the homeowner about it. And then I get on my green screen now, just a little overlay of the video just to tell the story a little bit so that people kind of know what's going on with the home.
Yeah, for sure. So speaking of that, how do you find the people you mow for?
Oh man, my wife and I drive around up and down every single street in every area of Wichita. Probably, I'd say like 5 to 10 hours a week.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, so we'll just drive around and jot down everyone that needs it real bad, and then we'll go back to the worst ones and knock on those doors first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many people, I guess, what's the percentage or ratio of people that say yes versus people that are like, no, I'm good?
Yeah, almost everybody says yes.
Okay, I would imagine, but
yes. I mean, I do tell everybody that I record for social media and stuff, and so some people are a little bit iffy about that, but usually people are fine with it. It's the pressure washing that I've had that people are like, no, that's weird. Like, get away from me. And
Really?
I think it's because the city's not going to come after you for pressure washing.
Okay, that's fair.
Or your
yeah.
neighbors aren't
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
come after you for that. It'll be, if you've got 5-6 feet tall grass, like you're
Yeah.
going to start getting fined and
For
liens
sure,
on your
yeah.
house and stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I guess, yeah, if their yard's bad enough that you're stopping, they're probably
Yeah.
going to say yes.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to do it themselves. Tell me the story about Mark Eden.
Yes, Mark Eden. So I came across this home. Grass was super overgrown, driveway, the cracks were like overtaking the driveway. And, I was a little bit sketched out at first because the door was open and like, I didn't know if like it was vacant or
Sure.
whatever. So I just went up and like peeked in and he was sitting there on his couch and, that interaction's in my first video I put out with him. I'm like, hey, can I, mow your yard for free? And, he was super excited. And he said, yeah, one line that he said that a lot of people, still talk about is I don't give a hoot or a toot, if you come back the next day because you don't have your equipment right now. So I came back the next day and I cleaned it up. And I talked to him a bunch off camera and, he was saying, yeah, he's a veteran and stuff. And, he leaves his door and his windows open because he can't afford electricity and he doesn't even have water or anything. Like he can't afford his utilities. So I'm like, man, dude, that's crazy. Like you're a disabled veteran. You don't have electricity. You don't have water. You just don't have your basic utilities.
Right.
And so I thought, this is a really cool story. I think people would be willing to help out. So I started GoFundMe and told people I'd match the first $500 or $1,000 or whatever. And yeah, within a day, we hit our $10,000 goal.
That's incredible,
So,
yeah.
yeah, I got to go back that week and give him $10K in cash.
Oh, my gosh.
And then his backyard was a mess, too. And I didn't have time to do it that first day that I was there. So I told him I'd like to take care of that, too. So I did that day as well. And yeah, Kate covered it. KWCH covered it. It was really cool.
Yeah, for sure. And I'll definitely link to that. I think people need to see that. That it's just such a cool interaction. Like, so cool that you could bless somebody that served our country, that should not be in this position, and kind of get them back on their feet a little bit.
Yeah, I was very blessed to be in that position, to have that kind of following, to be able to even like ask people for that. Because like a lot of people, could post on their personal pages and, they might get $20.
Right.
But yeah, I got $10,000 in a day, which was crazy. I think my biggest donation was like $500 from one person.
That's amazing. Yeah.
Is,
how big was your following then? Do you remember? I guess how long ago was this one?
That was almost a year ago. Okay. My following then, it wasn't near the following I have now. It was like, I think overall, maybe like I had 1 million between all my channels.
Wow, okay.
And now I've got like 23 million.
That's incredible,
so,
yeah. Wow. Are people confused when you offer to do it for free? Like, what's the catch? Like, are you going to come back and get me for something? Or do they, I guess now some people start to recognize you, but.
Yeah, so actually, I don't get a lot of people recognize me when I knock on their door.
Okay.
I've had a few, but a lot of people don't, which is weird because, I can just walk into Walmart and people are like, hey, I love your videos. I love your videos. I'm like, thanks. But so people are very skeptical at first. They think I'm going to end up charging them or end up, putting a lien on their house or something. And a lot of people still don't understand why I'm able to do it for free for them. I even tell them like, I make I'm able to make revenue off the ads that are run on the videos,
Sure.
and I can do it for free for you. Like, so a lot of people still can't wrap their heads around it. So I just try to say, once a week I do it for free, and I just do it to get some social media content.
Yeah.
Is that cool if I do it?
Yeah.
And usually people are pretty cool about it. So
Yeah. And I imagine a lot of that's like age, right?
Yeah,
They probably
I
just
think
don't-
it
I
is
think most
age.
people our age would be like, okay, I get it. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
everybody and their dog wants to be an influencer or
Yeah.
like social content creator, but that's cool.
yeah.
What is the craziest story of like people or you approaching people, like people getting angry, or what? Do you have any crazy stories like that?
Oh yeah. So the one that probably scared me the most, I was doing a vacant house in Emporia actually, because my wife's sister goes to Emporia. So while we were there, I'm like, let's drive around and see if there's any good houses I can drive
Sure.
back up here for. So we found 2 or 3 houses, and one of them was vacant. There's a padlock on the door. Like it was so overgrown, you couldn't even see the front porch. So I spoke with the next door neighbor, and she's like, oh yeah, I think someone comes by and like turns on the car that's in the back like once every other month or something. But yeah, I mean, it'd be awesome if you could just clean it up at least for us, make it look better for the neighborhood. And so I came back the next day and got started. Well, it turns out a different neighbor knew the homeowner and called him up. Was like, hey, someone's over here mowing your yard. Like you better get out here. And so I was just cleaning up the sidewalks at that point, and someone pulled up, and he got out. He's like, what the heck's going on here? Like he was
Fired up.
I wouldn't say he was like really mad at first, but he was a little bit angry. Like
Sure.
he probably thought I was the city or something. And I'm like, yeah, like I'm not the city. I just do this for free. I'm not charging you. Like I was like my heart was pounding, dude.
Oh yeah.
And so he was super nice and understanding. It turned out to be his mom's house that passed away
Sure.
a while ago, and he just he got ownership of the house, and he had some medical issues too, so he wasn't really able to keep up with it. He came and mowed it every now and again, but I kind of walked through. I'm like, yeah, do you want these bushes trimmed? Like what can I help you with? So yeah, I was able to help him out. It turned out to be a good interaction.
Yeah, for sure. And
so-
it makes for a good story, especially for YouTube and stuff. There's a little drama, helps
Yeah.
out a little bit. So,
Oh yeah.
what's the worst property that you've ever helped out with, or are there any that are too far gone that you're like, I'm not touching that?
There are some that are too far gone, and those are ones where it's not even a yard anymore. It's more like there's so many volunteer trees that you just have to take a chainsaw to the whole thing,
Sure.
and it's going to end up growing back the next year.
Right.
So a lot of those I don't do. I don't find those often, but the craziest one I have done, probably it's... let's change that word. The hardest one I ever done was the second one that I did. The edges were so overgrown onto the sidewalk that every shovel full of dirt and sod that I was taking up probably weighed 50 pounds.
Oh, I bet.
And I was bagging it up too. So I could put about, two scoops full in the bag, take the bag out,
Right. So many bags.
drag it
yeah.
away. I had so many bags, and they all were so heavy. And this was when I was doing it in the evenings too. So I was like,
Take you forever.
yeah, I was like, I specifically remember when I started that I was like, it was just super hard. I was in the evenings. I'm like, all right, I already started this. I gotta finish this. And so I was just tell myself in my head over and over. I'm like, Spencer, it'll be worth it. Like just keep going. Like I want to quit so bad
bet.
every evening. And every 10 minutes I'd be having to take a break because it was just so much labor.
Oh
So
my gosh, I bet.
that was the craziest, like labor wise and like hard for me. But I've done ones where the grass is probably 10 feet tall, and it looks crazy. But I've got a riding lawnmower, so it's shout out to Hustler.
Yep.
They hooked me up with some awesome mowers. But it's a lot easier mowing super tall grass because the machine does all the work for me. So
For sure. And it's like probably the most drastic, like
Yeah.
visually the most drastic for the video too.
Oh, it is. Yeah, because
It's like a forest.
yeah, you're just pushing it down with a mower, and it just like disappears into dust.
yeah. That's cool. So how do you split your time? Are you running the day-to-day of SB Mowing, and then you have the channels like on the side, or how do you split up your day? How do you approach that?
So this is the first year. So last year I still have my employees for my mowing business. This year is the first time that I gave my brother a really good price on the equipment and because he was an employee for me for like 4 or 5 years.
Sure.
So he was my main guy. I'm like, hey, I don't want to give this stuff to you for free. Like, I want you to have to work for it.
Sure.
And this is stuff I've worked for my whole life.
Yep.
So I'm like, I'll give you this really freaking good price for all this equipment, and then I'll also give you the clients with it. And so he ended up buying the equipment and the clients from me this year.
Nice.
And he's just kind of taken over that part of the business. So I'm 100% social media now.
Wow.
Which is super cool. I'm really blessed to be able to do it. And so workflow wise, my wife and I usually go out once a week and we scout around, drive around every street, write down addresses, knock on doors, get interactions and stuff.
Sure.
And then that week, I try to do 2 to 3 yards a week. I try to get ahead.
Yeah.
Because there's weeks that, we moved this year. So, there's a week or two where it was just so busy I didn't want to mow. And just, if we ever go on vacation or want to do something, I want, to consistently
or if it rains
post.
a lot.
Yeah.
Or
If it rains a lot, I want to consistently post, but not have to be like caught by my neck saying, you got to get out there and do a lawn if you want to get a video.
Video's going out on Friday. I need to.
Yeah. So I try to get 2 to 3 videos done a week, which wears me out. Usually two lawns wears me out in a week. And so those take, a full day each. And then I get home, usually in the evenings, I'm answering emails, I'm editing videos, and I am taking down or putting in copyright requests because there have been...
I was about to ask about copyright stuff.
Yeah, there's been a huge problem with copyright, and we can get into that after this.
Yeah.
But my wife also helps me full-time now. Once we got married...
That's awesome.
She went full-time with me. So she's editing the main videos. She's doing kind of behind-the-scenes stuff. She helps out a ton. I couldn't do it without her. So it's definitely makes my life easier having her help me. And so it's just us. It's just a little family thing going on. So it's really cool.
Yeah, I was gonna ask if you were doing the editing or if you outsourced it or anything. Have you considered outsourcing a third party, or do you just want to keep it you and your wife for now? Keep it small.
I've considered it, but I think it's just gonna stay my wife and I.
Yeah.
We can keep up with it, and I'm very, very picky about how the videos come out and how the editing's done. I want to make the best video possible, and I've had some friends that hired out to other people, and immediately I could see a decline in their videos.
Sure.
So I'm sure I could find an editor and work with them to get the editing exactly how I want it.
Yeah.
But for now, we're keeping it with my wife and I, and so she edits the main videos, like the long form videos, and then afterwards, in the evenings, I'll take it over. I'll add I'll do the green screens, the voiceovers. I'll kind of review the videos and change some stuff, add some stuff. And then I go through and I change the videos for every single platform because, Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, they all want their different lengths of videos or ratios, the size of the video. And, they all have either follow or subscribe. So I kind of change up my voiceovers to say follow or subscribe.
Yeah, I think that's more than a lot of people do. I post a little bit. Instagram's kind of our main page as far as social goes. And I'll just kind of repost the video, but you're going that extra step and making it unique, which I know the platforms want. So that probably does help distribution then too.
It does help. Yeah. And so that's what I do as well. And then I'm the one that's doing all the uploading and scheduling out and stuff.
Sure.
So, yeah.
You're the Mr. Beast of lawn care.
That's what people have said.
That's awesome. Do you have a favorite platform to work on or work with?
YouTube is that's what I started with, so that's what I love the most. They've been doing it the longest too, so their platform is made the best and it has the least amount of bugs.
Yeah,
and it's really nice. Facebook and Instagram, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's got quite a bit of bugs that
for sure.
But I post on it anyway. But yeah, YouTube I like doing it. It seems like a lot of people in the Wichita area watch me on Facebook.
Yeah.
And Facebook is actually my biggest following now.
I saw that. Yeah,
so,
that's cool. Yeah.
Facebook is super cool just because of that. But actual working on the platform, it's not fun.
Do you post on Twitter?
I do post on Twitter, but I don't have any luck on Twitter.
So I'd be curious, like, if you do like the short clips, or what do you do on Twitter right now?
Yeah, I do like 3 to 5 minute videos. So like,
So interesting.
yeah, kind of what I do. I post my long form videos every Friday, and then like 6 months later, I repost a short form of that.
Oh,
one.
nice. I'm just curious because I know on Twitter they just rolled out like the or I guess X now.
Yeah.
The monetization stuff. So I'd be curious.
I
like,
did see that.
Yeah.
I'm not even close to being able to apply
Okay.
for it.
Okay.
So I've got like 1,000 followers.
Gotcha. I didn't know what the numbers were. Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, I think you need 15 million impressions
Oh wow.
in a
Okay.
month to be able to apply to be monetized on Twitter. I'm nowhere near that
Sure,
on Twitter.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I was just curious. So I guess we could talk about let's just hop into like the social media and video in general. So
Yeah.
YouTube, I just pulled this right before this, so hopefully these are right. But 1.43 million. Facebook 8.4 million followers. Instagram about 1 million. TikTok 6.9 million, and then your Twitter is slacking a little bit, but we'll throw that in there too.
Yeah.
So an
It's
extra
like 1,000.
1,000. But that's incredible. That's you started. I think you said August of 21.
Yep.
So almost 2 years now, or I guess it is August.
It'll be
years now.
2
Yeah.
years on the 31st.
Wow,
is when I
that's
posted my
incredible.
first
So
video.
0 to 23 million overall followers in 2 years.
Yep. So I include pressure washing for my 23
Okay.
million.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
2 years.
That's incredible. And so I guess while we're at it, so you have the main SB Mowing channel, and now you have pressure washing. When did you start that? What's the story behind that one?
I started pressure washing about a year ago. One reason I started that is because I thought it would be an easy way to just kind of get a second channel going and just kind of do something else. And also, when you go into social media full time, it's really scary because you don't know how much you're going to make every month. You don't know if they're going to demonetize your videos.
Shut you
You don't know
down,
if if you're going to be banned off their platform and you're like kind of screwed. So I kind of wanted some diversity as
Absolutely.
well. And I'm like, I think this kind of fits into what I can do. And so my wife and I, it's really nice because we travel twice a year to either Arkansas or Texas because their driveways get really bad down there from the humidity.
Just
and
for
stuff.
just for video content?
Just for pressure washing.
Wow.
So we'll travel down there for 2 weeks twice a year.
Wow.
So 2 weeks usually in the fall once the mowing season slows down,
Yeah.
and 2 weeks in the spring before it picks back up, and we'll get a full year's worth of videos there.
That's incredible. That's so smart.
Yeah. So the videos that are going out now, a lot of people don't know. I filmed those in March.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That is such a good idea. And you can't really, how many yard, or I guess driveways or whatever can you do?
I can do about 2 a day, and they're not physically taxing. Like
Right, exactly. I was about to say, picking up the 50-pound sod and wearing yourself out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot easier.
So I guess, you did pressure washing. Have you thought of, are there other kind of adjacent verticals you've thought about going into, or any that are, I guess, not under wraps, but?
There's not like super close ones, but I do have some channel ideas that I won't be revealing
Sure.
right now, but that I want to try this winter because now that like we're kind of full time at it,
Yeah.
winter's a lot slower because we're working so hard during the summer to save up winter content.
Yep.
We might travel once or twice this winter to get mowing content, but we'll have a lot of off time where we'll be either traveling or starting this new channel that I'm talking about. So
Yeah, for sure.
yeah, I'll keep you in the loop once I post my
For sure.
first video.
Appreciate that. Yeah. Get the scoop over here. How do you stay organized? Because there's a lot, how do you know, I don't know, if you guys have a good system to stay organized between you and your wife, or I know I have 4 videos out. How do you stay organized with everything?
Yeah, so initially, when I do a video, I take the SD card out of my camera after I'm done filming. My wife has a little 4 terabyte SSD drive, which are, if people don't know what SSDs are, they're real fast hard drives.
Sure.
It's not an actual disk spinning in there, so it's super fast. So I transfer my footage over to her drive. She edits the main video usually that day or the next day. And then she's like, hey, I'm done with it. Then we'll transfer that over to my drive. I'll do all my stuff.
Yeah.
And then I've got this big list on my wall with all the platforms and then all the videos. And then I have dates for each one on
Nice.
when it's supposed to go out on each platform.
Yeah.
And I just, once I get done with the video, I schedule it up according to the dates that it says that I preset. I spent a whole day on that, figuring out what dates for every platform for every video. And then I'll just take a green highlighter and highlight it off, and we're good with that video. And then
I love that. That's awesome.
I've got I think 40 terabytes of storage right now that I save all my footage onto. So I've just got 4 terabyte hard drives right now. I'm gonna upgrade kind of a good backup system soon because I need it now.
Yeah, that's super cool. You mentioned it before, but I want to talk about it a little bit before we get some of the other questions. But copyright stuff. What's the issue lately with that?
Yeah, so a bunch of people, I don't know from where. I think a lot of them are from other countries. they see that they can just start a fake page or a fan page or whatever and just rip all my content off of my TikTok or my YouTube and just repost it on there. And they'll pretend to be me, and they'll even ask people, like one even made a Cash App, SB Mowing Cash App, because I never made one. So it was just literally my name, SB Mowing Cash App, and had in their bio, if you want to help out, you know.
And there's probably getting some then. Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're getting a lot from it, I bet, because they had a couple videos of my videos go viral before I caught it. So I'm sure they got
Where did it go? Where was it, a specific platform or that they were going viral on?
That one was TikTok.
Okay.
Yeah. TikTok, Facebook is really bad too. YouTube isn't bad at all. YouTube has done really well.
They're usually like, if you're copyright, like it shuts it down pretty quick, right?
Yeah, usually they catch it right away and they take it down automatically. Yeah. Or they just don't let them upload it. So Facebook is really bad. There's if you look up SB Mowing on Facebook or TikTok, there's 30, 40, 50 accounts.
Wow.
With my logo, with my name. They're all slightly different, like SB Mowing Fan, SB Mowing 1, SB Mowing
Clips,
2.
Yeah, whatever.
And they just take my stuff and they just literally rip it off, like upload it completely. And yeah, like I get like these people in other countries, they're, it's probably a lot of money that they're making for them. And even if they're just building these platforms, I've seen some of them where I take the videos down and now they've got 50,000 followers and they start, posting memes and stuff and like different stuff like that. So like they gain their following with my content, pretending to be me. So that's something I've struggled with a lot. A lot of guys don't deal with it. Yeah. But I do. Yeah. I kind of take it personally. I'm like, dude, that's my hard work. Like you can't pretend to be me. Like, come on. And so I pretty much every evening I sit down for 30 minutes to an hour and I'm taking videos down.
That's crazy. So what is that process? Is it like it flags it that it's copyright, or are you just going to their pages because you didn't even get a notification? You're just finding them?
Facebook has a thing called Rights Manager where they can tell if anything that you've uploaded gets added to your like reference library, and it will detect if anything, like even 1% of it matches your video. Wow. Which is really nice. But you have to go through and manually click each one to take it down, which takes a long time, especially when there is a couple hundred videos that get uploaded every day. Right. And then TikTok doesn't have any detection, so I just either search up SB Mowing or I get like my account added in a lot of the videos, like, hey, at SB Mowing, this is like fake, like this is someone stealing your content. So I go through and I have to actually copy every link for every single video.
Oh my gosh!
And put it into a list and send in copyright reports.
I wonder if that's something you could outsource.
I think it would be
like an assistant just to do that for an assistant, because that could save you 5 or 10 hours a week then, not having to.
Yeah, I think I will eventually, at least for the TikTok. For the Facebook, it's harder because I have to give somebody like my credentials to get into my
so maybe not
account. Yeah. So Facebook would be tough, but TikTok probably I could.
That might be a good idea. Just
take
a little bit of something off your plate.
That's something I've had an idea that I need to do. I just
for sure. That's the hardest part. It's like, I could save myself so much time if I just hired somebody. This isn't stuff I have to do. It's like, this is like, I just do it because I don't want to hand it off yet.
Yeah, I was just reading something. I forget who said it. I'm sure somebody will know that's listening to this. If you can outsource something to somebody and they can do it 70% as well as you can, then you should do it.
That's a good rule of thumb, and I need to apply that to what I do.
Same. I need to as well. I'm so bad about that.
That's funny. Yeah, because I'm currently a full-time engineer at Coke still. So cool. I do the Wichita Life stuff with the podcast and our newsletter and stuff on the side. So yeah, it's like there's a lot of stuff I need to save some time, and we've got a couple kids or a few kids now, and so I could definitely use that advice. You mentioned Hustler provided you with some lawn stuff. Do you, when they're sponsors, are they just providing the gear, or is there like a monetary sponsorship as well?
So some people just start out with the gear. I was able to work out a deal with Hustler where, and a company called Mariyama now. They're like my handheld equipment, so like trimmers, edgers, blowers. It's called Mariyama. They're a small company based out of Japan. But yeah, they make some awesome equipment too. But yeah, so basically I get equipment for free, and then they pay me a stipend for the year to run their stuff, which really helps me out. It helps me keep doing it full time.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna ask before I found out. I didn't realize you were doing the social media stuff full time, but like breakdown wise, is most of the income coming from ad revenue or like deals like that, or what's kind of the breakdown? You don't have to give specifics.
Most of it comes from ad revenue.
Yeah.
sponsors are a good boost to it, and it helps out a lot because, like, first off, like if I do have to go buy a mower, the mowers I buy or would need are $10,000,
Right.
and so it's nice being able to get real nice equipment, and then also just kind of that little extra cushion on top of it because, like,
nice, yeah.
as I said, I don't know if YouTube will ever shut me down.
It's
or
a roller
anything.
coaster, yeah.
Yeah, or if a month will be real bad, and I'll won't make very much.
Yep.
So
No, I completely get that. Yeah, because Wichita I've started is just an Instagram account, just for fun to highlight kind of cool stuff around town, and it's kind of grown. Like the next year, did a podcast. A couple years later, started the newsletter. But it was like I always kind of knew I wanted to do something like that to highlight Wichita full time.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm not gonna quit to be an influencer on Instagram.
Yeah.
Like again, same thing. I'm like, if it gets shut down tomorrow, I'm just out of luck then.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's why I kind of tried to diversify to other platforms, to the newsletter, kind of build up email subscribers, all that kind of stuff. But
yeah, and what a lot of people, unless you're an influencer, like don't understand is that if you're not getting views, you're not making any income.
Right.
So like it at least for me, it's gotten a lot more consistent income wise and view wise for me in the past 6 months. So in 2023, but like the first like year and a half of doing it, it was tough.
Oh, I
like
bet.
it was scary.
I bet.
Like I'm like, I'd have a really slow month. I'm like, I hope this picks back up, man.
Yeah. Especially like once your wife takes the plunge too. Like it's like
exactly.
you're not just providing for yourself. You got a family now, and
Yep.
yeah. Oh, I get it completely. So 23-ish million across everything, but you don't publish your last name. So privacy stuff. How do you kind of approach it? How do you feel about that? But also people recognize you. So like, how do you balance all of that?
Yeah. So a big thing about the privacy thing is that I started SB Mowing LLC when I was living at my parents' house, the actual mowing business. And so on public record, people found my parents' house and were like sending them stuff. And like they were kind of getting freaked out, like we don't know who these people are. And it wasn't anything bad, but it could be bad.
You never know, yeah.
So and like people would send me like Gatorade in the mail. I'm like, dude, I don't know what happened to this Gatorade. Right. Like I'm not gonna drink this. Like that's really nice, but like my mom always told me not to like eat the open Halloween candy.
Yeah, exactly. Don't take candy from the van.
So I forgot what I was saying. Yeah. Okay.
People find your parents' address.
Yeah. So privacy.
Yeah.
And like people just finding where I live, and I haven't had it happen to me yet, but I've had some friends in the social media space where people show up at their house and knock on their door, and they watch them all the time, so they feel like they're like best friends with them.
The parasocial deal, yeah.
Yeah, but like I don't know who a lot of these people are, or like I don't know if they have bad intentions or good intentions, or I've had people that are like really jealous of the following that I have, and so I don't know if people like that are showing up or trying to show up to my house.
Right.
So yeah, I try to keep my last name private. I keep my address private. My house isn't even in my name, so
Smart.
stuff like that. And then there's like when you go sign up for like a credit card or like get a credit report ran or even give your information to any company, it gets sold to data brokers.
For
like
sure.
them, there's a like even if they say
every single one of them, yeah.
even if they say they're not going to, when those terms and conditions that you check the box at the bottom that are 30 pages long, they all say they're going to sell your information, and they make a ton of money off of it. And so your information gets sold to data brokers, and then those data brokers go sell it to a bunch of people online. And there's like ones like, I'm not going to say the names of the websites so that people just can't go stalk on people, but there's websites where you can just go look up someone's name and put in the city and literally figure out all their relatives, all their addresses, their past addresses,
Which is scary.
their phone numbers, their names, who like exactly who they're related to, like not just relatives, like their wife is this person, their kid is this person, their dad is this
That's
person.
scary, yeah.
And so actually a sponsor that I got sponsored by is called Aura, and I'm not trying to plug just
Sure.
just
No,
to plug,
you're good, yeah.
but it was actually a really perfect sponsor for me at the time, because they you like give them your information, and they'll go and like opt out of all of these data brokers like online, because there's hundreds, like thousands of these websites that keep your information, and they'll go and like actually opt out of it for you. So that was a really natural sponsorship or integration for me, because I had a lot of trouble with that at first.
Right. And it's something you'd never think of that as like needing as that as a sponsor or something, but it is a perfect fit. So that works out well.
Yeah. Yep. And yeah, privacy, you never think about that until you start getting a lot of followers. Like when I first started, I'm like, sure, I'm Spencer, you know, whatever.
Sure.
Like I've definitely set my name for it. I've taken those videos down,
Yeah.
but yeah, just being careful.
It's like if you have 100 followers and it's like, let's say, I don't know, 0.01% of people are crazy.
Yeah.
Go to 23 million, 0.01% is a few thousand people that are crazy enough to go do something stupid or scary. And so, yeah.
So I'm just trying to stay safe. That's all I'm trying to do.
No, I'm glad you do that.
I know
That's
most
a great
people
idea.
wouldn't do anything harmful or even,
Yeah.
no harmful intentions at all. But yeah, those few scare me.
Yeah, for sure. So, you mentioned people like jealous of your stuff. Do you get comments about like how fast you grew or like how does that kind of present itself?
I have gotten comments about how fast I grew. No negative ones. But yeah, I think there's there's a lot of people that get jealous of my success on social media, and there's always hater comments and stuff.
Always,
but there's people like, oh, like you're not actually doing this for free, you're making money. It's like, well, I am doing it for free for people that need it. Like I'm not charging people.
It's
that
a
need
win-win,
it.
right?
Yeah, I'm like, dude, I literally have the best business model. Like I'm helping people like free of charge to them, like that really, really need help with like their grass.
Sure.
And I'm just making a video out of it and getting paid from massive corporations like Google and Facebook.
Don't need the extra money.
They don't need the extra money. And so like, it's literally like, I tell people I have the best business model in the world, but there's still people that are, I don't even look at those comments anymore. So
yeah, it's not worth it.
There's friends of mine and even me at one point that kind of, get a little bit depressed from that, like from the hater comments or from people kind of beating them down because of what they're doing. But, I've just, at this point, I just look past it. I don't even read them anymore.
Yeah, that makes sense. So you mentioned also some friends at like YouTube channels, and you shouted out a couple of the lawn care
juggernaut
YouTubers. Yeah,
Yeah.
That's super cool. I guess, did you just like naturally, like as you grow, kind of like they reach out, you reach out, you kind of chat? Like how are you friends with all these YouTuber guys?
Yeah. So first off, they were like inspirations of mine.
Yeah.
Like I watch their videos all the time. So they're a big inspiration for me to get started. And then the first month when I had that video on YouTube go super viral, Lawn Care Juggernaut was the biggest at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like he started the trend of doing it for free for people and helping
Sure.
people out. And he was way bigger than everybody.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's still got a massive following. I think he's got 700,000 or 800,000 on one channel on YouTube and like 400,000 on the other. And so he just left a voice message on my phone one day because I still have my business like listing
So
up.
you just found your phone number, yeah.
Yeah, which I've got that phone number changed to like a business phone number that I
Smart.
don't really deal
Smart.
with. But yeah, it was my personal number, and he left a message, and I've been watching this guy for like a year or two. And,
Super cool. It's like your hero. Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, this guy just left me a message. No way. So I called him. He's like, dude, I saw you going viral. Like, congrats. That's super cool. And he ended up. There's this big expo. It's called Equip Exposition that a bunch of the lawn care guys around the nation, especially the social media guys, but a bunch of other just normal lawn care business owners go to every year, and it's in Louisville, Kentucky. And he invited me to go. He's like, hey, like I'm in Tulsa, you're in Wichita. I've got a guy in Wichita I'm friends with that's driving down to Tulsa, and we're gonna head up to.
Oh, cool. That's
there.
awesome.
So I met up with his friend, who's now a really good friend of mine, Adam Devine, and we drove down to Wichita, and then I met him, and we went and spent a week up in Louisville at this expo, and we've been really, really good friends since. He's one of my best friends, so it's been super cool. And
You guys are probably like gods there when you go, and like, everybody knows you there.
everyone does know us. But yeah, so that's how I met him. So
Okay, cool.
that was the first kind of guy that I met, and then through the Equip Exposition, I met a lot of people, and then also just people reaching out to me like, hey, let's have a phone call. Like it's really nice talking to other influencers,
Sure.
just because they kind of get it.
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah, it's like there's 5 other people that probably make a living full time off lawn care stuff.
Right?
So it's cool that offer content. Has that kind of outside? I was going to ask if you went to like expos or like VidCon. I don't even know what all there is, that kind of stuff. But has that, I guess, circle of like YouTuber influencer stuff gone beyond lawn care, or is it mostly like in the industry, or is it like?
it has gone beyond lawn care a
Yeah.
little bit. let me check my phone. I didn't know if this video was going up today, but there's a massive influencer, like Mr. Beast level, and everybody knows who he is, and he's got like 100 million followers on TikTok. He reached out to me and he's like, "Hey, I love what you're doing. Let's do a video."
Amazing.
So he flew down here like a month ago.
No way.
And I'm not gonna say the name yet because I want the video to go up. I don't have a reception.
You can tell me off screen.
But I'll tell you after we're done here. But yeah, the video should go up soon. But he came and helped me with a lawn and did one of his little videos in his style that he does. It was super cool. Like he's like crazy famous. Like
that's amazing. Well, congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah. So he flew down and we hung out for an entire day, and it was really cool. So, but he actually recommended I go to this thing, and it changes locations every year, but it's called Creator Summit.
Yeah, I've heard of it. Yeah,
and it's just just creators go, and like they're the only people that are allowed. There's no fans allowed.
That's perfect. Yeah,
and they just go and they just spend a couple days just talking to everyone.
Very
just
cool.
Hanging out with everybody. So
that's amazing. So you do. I was going to ask if you do like collaborations type stuff with other people. That's great.
Yeah, I've done a few collabs with different lawn care guys, and he's the only collab I've done like with someone that's like not lawn care.
Outside. Have you, or I don't know him, and I've watched some of his stuff, but he's also in Wichita. But are you familiar with Hoovie's Garage?
Yeah, so he was one of the first kind of bigger YouTubers in Wichita. I think
because he's, I mean, from what I know, really big, like millions. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know how big he is, but I have watched some of his stuff. I haven't talked to him though.
So I wonder if that would be like an easy collab being in town and stuff. So
it could be really cool. I need to reach out to him because I've never talked to him, but I have watched his stuff, and I watched his stuff quite a bit before I even started YouTube. So
it's honestly kind of incredible because I mean, there's you, Hoovie. There's a kid. He grew up in Augusta, but Tanner Brongard.
Yep, does all the flips and stuff.
You know him?
Yep.
Okay.
So he's really good friends with my best friend's brother.
Oh, cool. Okay. So it's like through a grapevine. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's really big.
He's really big.
He's got like 5 million or something on.
I think the first I maybe Splurge or something. He was in there like, I don't know, a few years ago, and I was like, oh my gosh, he's like huge. And then I kind of like would check in on him. I'm like, oh, he just bought a house that belonged to one of my friends that was pretty wealthy growing up. And I'm like, oh, he just moved to LA. Oh, he just moved back. I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like,
yeah. And then there's also a guy, he's not Wichita, but he's in Kansas. I don't know where. He owns a farm somewhere, but it's called Project Farm. And
I heard about that. I haven't watched it. I'm gonna check that out.
He's got a couple million followers, and he just does like very scientific at home like reviews on tools and like stuff like that. I watch him all the time. I think that would be a super cool collab. He's like a really
you should, and it fits farm lawn care. Have you thought about I don't know, another like third party channel, and maybe you have already, but it's like I don't know, like equipment reviews or something like that?
Yeah, that's a great transition. I actually just started
perfect.
A new one. It's called SB Business.
It's like you told me that, but we did not talk about that.
No, we didn't. No. And it's called SB Business, and it's just kind of all my business side stuff, like my equipment or like behind the scenes or just whatever I want to post. I haven't posted on it in a couple of weeks, but like the first week I posted like 4 or 5 videos. Yeah, it's up to like I think like 10,000 followers or something.
Yeah.
So
it's
pretty cool.
So if somebody was starting a YouTube channel, I mean, you did not get lucky by any means, but it's like you got success right off the bat.
Yeah, there's definitely luck involved.
I guess, are there any like growth hacks or tips that you would have for people that want to get started on YouTube?
Yeah, focus on obviously making good videos. So post consistently, post consistent good videos. Don't post. If you need to get a video on Friday and it's Thursday evening and you just want to throw one together real quick, don't do that. Like, spend your time making quality videos. Make sure when people like first click on it, like obviously your thumbnail and title are good to get people to click on it. But when people do click on it, like deliver on that thumbnail and title and like make it super interesting in the first 10 seconds so that people are like, oh wow, I actually do want to watch this video, and they can continue watching it. Because a lot of people that reach out to me that are like smaller YouTubers, they're like, hey, can you like give some advice on my channel? I'm like, dude, I just clicked on this video and like it kind of sucks. I'm
not interested.
Like I want to click off it in the first 3 seconds. Like it just wasn't interesting. So like actually just spending time, like I probably spend, I'd say 40 hours of video total. Like between my wife and I, we probably spend about 40 hours of video. And I've noticed the more time I spend on videos, whether I'm out in the field doing it because it's crazy or whether I'm like editing it, the more time I spend on it, the better the video does.
Interesting. Direct correlation. Yeah.
Direct correlation almost every time. And I can tell when I don't when I do a lawn that doesn't take me very long because it's not very bad and it doesn't take us very long to edit and stuff, it doesn't do well.
Sure.
Yeah.
Wow. So do you have a bar you like, have you recorded one, edited it, and you're like, okay, this sucks. Do you have like a graveyard?
Yes. I don't have a huge graveyard. There is one recently I did. I flew out to Savannah, Georgia to do a collab with a lawn care guy. He's more on the business side of stuff, like talking about his business and stuff. But we got talking, became pretty good friends. So I flew out there and we went and did 3 lawns in a day, to do like free cleanups, like my style.
Mm-hmm.
And so he, is just not used to my style of recording. He's used to like making a quick TikTok and posting it.
Yep.
So we made that for those ones for YouTube, and he just he runs his business, and his you gotta get done with lawns quick and like to be moving on and making money.
Mm-hmm.
And so he was like tearing through these yards. I'm like, wait, let me set the camera up, and then it was just like super chaotic because he was mowing, I was edging, and it was just really chaotic. And so I chose to not upload that to YouTube, but I was able to make some shorter cuts of that, and like do it to like TikTok and Facebook and all my other platforms. But YouTube's kind of my baby, so I ended up choosing not to upload it on there, which sucks because that.
Is he offended by that? Like, is there a awkward conversation or anything?
Yeah, I called him. I'm like, hey, like these videos, they're not hitting my standards for YouTube.
Yeah.
And I even told him that beforehand. I'm like, I'm super strict on my content.
Good.
Like,
well, you prefaced it. That's good.
Yeah, it's got to be real good. But the short videos turned out great, and like I was able to shout him out on those,
good,
and they got a couple million views.
Perfect.
So yeah, he was definitely understanding on that, which was cool.
Yeah, for sure. On the analytics side of things, we briefly talked about it before, kind of off camera, but talk a little bit about analytics. What are some trends you've seen, like where are a lot of your viewers coming from, that kind of stuff? Yeah,
so viewership-wise, every platform's different. I think YouTube, so most of my, I think like 10% of my viewers, which is the largest amount, comes from Texas, which is cool. And then I think California watch, and then all the other states. But I think about 75% in the U.S. I have a lot in Great Britain, the UK,
cool,
Australia.
You need to get some collabs over there. Go mow, like, I don't know who's famous over there, KSI or somebody. Go mow his lawn, do a collab.
That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, so YouTube's like 70% male, 30% female. Facebook is like 60% female, 40% male. Yeah. TikTok's like half and half. Yeah. And then even like each platform has their different age range too. Like YouTube's like between 18 and or even like 16 and 35-year-old males.
Yep.
TikTok's like younger for sure.
Yeah.
Like 18 to 30. Facebook's like 30 to like 60 or 70.
I imagine, yeah.
And they're just all different. And that's also a good reason to get out on every platform and make sure you're like reusing your content on every platform, because there's, if somebody like watches videos on YouTube, they're not going to watch videos on Facebook.
Right.
So like YouTube, like my YouTube audience is very different from my Facebook audience. Yeah. So I'm getting out to a lot more people and different people by posting on different platforms. For sure.
Okay, so getting into like the nitty gritty of like gear and like software. So like you mentioned you cut different sizes for the different platforms. Like what editing software do you use? And then like gear wise, camera wise, you mentioned, I think this is off screen, but you can talk about it. What kind of camera, how that's evolved from what you use now, that kind of stuff.
I just use, one, I use the same camera I started with. I use one tripod with a GoPro. It's a DJI version of GoPro, but it's just a little action camera, and that's all I use. So like when people watch my videos, I'm not using multiple cameras. I'm stopping the camera in between each cut and moving it, but I make it look like it's,
is there a reason
very
you
seamless.
Don't use?
There are so I've tried using multiple cameras and it's fine.
Yeah.
There's 2 reasons. It's a little bit harder to edit.
Yeah, I bet it is.
Which isn't really the main reason. The main reason is that I'm a lot more intentional with my shots with one camera.
Yeah.
I've used 2 cameras and I get lazy. I'm like, it's
catching it all.
Yeah, I can set them up for this, this big section and just do all this section, but it's not as good.
Yeah.
So yeah, just one camera. And then editing wise, I have a MacBook Pro and I use Final Cut Pro for it, which I like Final Cut Pro because you pay $300 for it once and you don't have to, because there's other programs, there's free programs that are good, but there's other programs like Premiere Pro where you have to pay monthly for the rest of your life. I just don't like that business model.
Yeah.
So, I'll pay for the one-time fee and never have to pay again. I'd rather just own it.
For sure. Yeah, I get that. Let's see. So the next batch, actually, one other thing I just thought of. So you've diversified over all the different platforms and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Have you thought of, and this is coming from a guy that writes a newsletter 3 times a week, but have you thought about like an email newsletter, like SB News? I don't know what you'd call it, but whatever that is.
Yes, it's going to be the SB Scoop.
Oh, there we go. Let's go. That's awesome.
I don't know how active I'll be on it,
Yeah.
but I am in the works of building a website that's going to have,
Perfect.
where people can sign up for a newsletter. And I think it'd be a little bit cooler to stay in touch a little bit closer with my community that wants to be closer to me.
Yep.
But I don't know what I'm going to do on the newsletter. I might just do like, oh, this is what my week looked like.
See, I think that would be good. And I mean, even if it's like, hey, I tried this new weed eater. Like, this is a great weed eater. You should give it a try. And like, it could be sponsored, could not be sponsored, but I think, having that kind of open dialogue in a different format is great.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of creators have gone to that too. Cause again, it's like, you at least own those own quote unquote, own the emails compared to whatever socials it could get.
How long do you spend on one newsletter?
A few hours. Yeah. It's not crazy, but like mine, I'm summing up 5 or 10 news stories, getting all the events in town. Yours, I mean, you could probably spend, 30 minutes on a newsletter. Be like, again, like probably go outsource your Facebook or your TikTok, taking down videos and spend that time.
Do a newsletter instead.
But I think that would be a good idea. Just to, I mean, you've thought of all this already, but like just to diversify even more. Cause it's scary just having this social media. And stuff.
Yeah. Cause if everything gets shut down, how do I reach out to my fans and like my followers?
Right.
You can't unless you have something internally like a newsletter or an email list. Like
and I bet you could grow it pretty quickly if you're just like tag it at the end of the video or something, or in the comments, be like, hey, go follow me here if you like this stuff.
Yeah, I think I could. I think I could grow it
absolutely. So the next batch of questions is just kind of stuff I ask everybody. Cool. So you can take a minute to think about it if you need to, but what is something you often recommend to people? It could be books, podcasts, anything like that, music.
Oh man.
Shows.
I haven't been reading a lot lately because, I mean, I am really into, I still am. I just haven't had time to read lately. Just reading personal finance books because I think, the best time to start investing your money is now. The best time to start investing your money was yesterday.
Sure.
The second best time is now.
Yeah.
So, I'm super big into personal finance and just, making sure I'm set up for the future. And, I kind of encourage everybody to kind of it's an easy topic to learn on.
Yeah.
You can even just go watch YouTube videos. That's how I got started. Just learning about, just like why invest in a 401k or a Roth IRA, or why you should maybe try to get into real estate, like the tax benefits that it has. And, I think it's just really beneficial for someone to have that knowledge.
Absolutely. Are there any specific books that not to put you on the spot, but any specific personal finance books?
Yeah. So there was, obviously Rich Dad, Poor Dad's what you should probably start out with.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a classic. What was that one? I think, it's called Multiple Streams of Income. It's a little bit older, but it talks about basically every different way to invest.
Yeah.
And every different way you can build a stream of income, real estate, stocks, bonds, licensing, stuff like that. And it makes it a lot easier to understand because like when you go talk to someone that's already been doing it for so long and, they can give you the scoop on what it is and you're like, dude, that just flew over my head. You're way too knowledgeable about this. Like you need to bring it down to a level that I can understand. And that's a good place to start.
Yeah, for sure.
So YouTube videos, I watch Andre Jick.
I was about to say, I love Andre Jick.
Andre Jick's amazing. Graham Stephan's pretty good too. I don't watch him as much anymore.
Those are the two I used to watch.
Yeah, those are the two that gave me inspiration for my personal finance social media or YouTube channel that I did that I'm not doing anymore. But I do like watching them. I don't watch a lot of YouTube anymore. Yeah. I tell people I used to be really addicted to YouTube, and that's how I figured out, and that's how I became really good at making YouTube videos is because I watched videos that I liked. Like I used to watch YouTube an hour before I went to bed every single night. And I would, when I started creating videos, I would take things that I liked from all the creators that I watched. And that's how I made my own style. Mm-hmm. I I mean, that's how artists do it. You know, with music, they get inspiration from all the music that they like, and they make something that's their own. So
Absolutely. And what's it, Austin Kleon or whatever? It's steal like an artist.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
for sure. Every artist steals.
yeah.
It's like a good artists copy, great artists steal, or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just make your own thing out of it. Because
Yeah.
I've had recently a couple channels pop up that have completely copied my style. Like there's this one guy, like I find it really, really cool that they're getting inspiration from me and that they're going out and helping people out for free and stuff. That's cool. But you know, this guy made his logo. You know, he's got the green initials and it says mowing underneath. He's got the little grass going up in between it. He wears it. He wears the exact same clothes I do. Like it's like, and that's not even that bad.
Right.
Like it gets bad. Like he uses the same color captions I do. The same.
it's not cool,
Same
yeah.
everything. But he even has a merch store that has the exact same merch that I have.
It gets a little weird. Yeah.
And it's got just his logo on it. I'm like, dude, you're taking this too far.
Does he have a following? Has he built a following doing it that way?
A little bit.
Yeah.
There's another guy that has been copying me that has gotten like 30,000 on TikTok so far. I even talked to that guy on the phone. Like, I'm not mad at these guys. Like,
Right.
I wish they wouldn't do that.
Right.
And like, I want them to take inspiration from me and, you know, do this free cleanup stuff and, you know, do this, but like take your own style.
Right.
Like create your own style. I even told him, I'm like, dude, you're never going to do SB Mowing as good as me. Like,
Right.
like you're not going to do my style as good as me. You're always going to be the great value brand SB Mowing.
Yeah, exactly. The Kroger. Yeah.
So like if you want to build a following, like if you want to be good, you know, take inspiration from me
Yep.
and create something of your own that people will watch. Because if people like want to watch SB Mowing, they're going to watch me, not you.
Right. Exactly.
So yeah.
There's a Naval Ravikant quote. I can't remember exactly how it goes, but basically it's like escaping whatever through authenticity. And it's like the only way to be like truly great is like do it your way.
Yeah.
And like there is, like you said, there will never be another SB Mowing that's better than SB Mowing.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's you.
And it's just
yeah.
me. You can't be me.
Right.
Like-
They can maybe get close, but it's never going to be better
Yeah.
than me. So that's super interesting. Yeah, I don't know. That's crazy that they copy you that much. It reminds me, there was a short, probably like 6 months ago. Ryan Trahan is like another big YouTuber, and he does these like whatever challenges and different stuff. But one of them was he went into the worst rated restaurant in his city.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
So it's like pretty interesting. Like that's a good concept. I'm like, I might do that in Wichita just because it'd be kind of interesting. And like obviously it'd be tweaked and like it's completely my experience just with that inspiration. But somebody copied his video and like Colin and Samir, I don't know if you're familiar with them.
Mhm.
They
Yeah, I
kind of
am.
they asked him about it and they were talking about it. The guy took like literally every cut, his words, literally everything was exactly the same, all the way down to like a helicopter flew overhead at a certain point in the video. I'm like, it's so strange.
That's
like,
what these guys are doing for me. Even the cuts are the
yeah,
same.
that's so weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
I don't get it.
And yeah, just figure out your own inspiration, dude. Like,
That's funny. Okay, so favorite failure in any aspect of your life?
oh man, that's a good one. It's like a job interview right now. Like, what's your worst or like
What's your greatest weakness?
What's your greatest weakness?
I care too much.
Oh, greatest failure. I would say probably. Oh man, I have a couple. Greatest failure, man. You're putting me on the spot here. I should have listened all the way through one of your
You
podcasts.
should have. This one's on you.
I've listened to your stuff before, but not all the way through the end. Greatest failure. Honestly, that's not really failure. I was gonna say, not. It's not really a specific instance, but just things that I've done. Just not it. It kind of goes into the last thing we were talking about. That's why I don't really want to say it, but I'll just say it. Not being yourself. Like I felt like a big. I guess it's kind of a failure, kind of not, but like when I first started this, I just kind of tried to be somebody else, And the very first winter I had, I kind of had like a very like 3 or 4 month stage where I got super depressed with my work and like just in general, because I felt like I was just trying too hard to be somebody else, because I felt like I wasn't enough to like do something like this. And that was also the time that I was doing the personal finance pages, and like I felt like it just wasn't me. And you know, with the mowing, I kind of found my calling with the mowing because it's something I've been doing my whole life and I've been an expert at. But definitely, you know, be yourself. And I've had so many instances where I could have gotten started with something or done something, but I kept making excuses on like reasons to not do it. And I still do that today. Like, I probably could have mowed today, like after this, but I made the excuse, oh, it rained last night, everything's gonna be wet. Yeah, whatever. Everything's wet for the morning. Like, but like, I have a lot of friends reach out and ask for advice, and I'm like, dude, you just got to get started. Like, you just got to try it. Like, they're like, oh, like how can I do a social media page like you? I'm like, you just got to do it. Like, it's like that quote, like, just do it.
Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, Shia LaBeouf. But yeah, probably my biggest failures are just making excuses on things that really matter and that I should be doing, whether that's, you know, in my business life, in my spiritual life, you know, with friends. One specific instance was overdoing things on the business side and not, you know, taking into account my personal life and like my friends. And this was in college, actually, you know. So I was an RA in college, so I was like kind of working throughout the week in the dorms and stuff, and I had classes all day. And then the weekends, I'd go back and I'd go home and mow all weekend, and then go back and restart. And basically, I didn't have any times for my friends during the mowing season. You know, that's probably the times that, you know, some of my best friends that I got the farthest away from, and they even like quit inviting me to stuff, because like every time they would invite me, I'd be like, sorry, dude, can't, busy. And so that was a big failure in my life, is like, you know, balancing that stuff. And like, you know, I kept making excuses like, oh, I'm busy, like I've got to like go home and do this. You know, I could have made time for it if I really wanted to. And like, I really want to now.
Sure.
So like,
yeah.
But I've kind of fixed that. I've created a good balance in my life. I'm working a lot right now. I'm probably working 60 to 80 hours a week, but you know, I'm still, you know, making time so my wife and I can go out and do stuff and like have fun and like, you know, go on a date every now and again and hang out with friends, go see a movie. But yeah, definitely find that balance in your life, because if you don't, it makes life tough. It really does. Yeah.
Well, thanks for sharing all that. I know it's rough to kind of think about it.
Yeah, it is.
Glad you shared that. This kind of leads into the next question, but you mentioned the success came when you kind of layered this like YouTube interest, and like you watched a lot of YouTube. Is like you weren't necessarily, you're not in the top 1% or anything at YouTube yet, but it's like you layered this mowing thing, which you've been mowing as long as anybody your age, basically, or longer. So it's like you layer those two, and it's like once you layer, it's like a new, the lawnmower. You can only reach so much success as a lawnmower as a YouTuber, but when you layer it, it's like you're like the lawnmower YouTube guy.
Yeah.
So it's like it's super interesting. Like find like advice to your friends. It's like, okay, what are you passionate about?
Yeah.
Plus,
find what you're passionate or what you're an expert about.
Yeah, exactly.
'Cause everyone's an expert at one thing. Like everyone really, really likes one thing. Like, do something with that.
Exactly.
Like,
and it's like back, I don't know, I listened to Gary Vee back in the day.
Yeah.
And it was always like, he's like, you could go start a YouTube channel about peanut butter or Pokemon or whatever else. It's like, and people did, because it's like, they were just so passionate about it, created the content around it. Like, you're the go-to guy in whatever that vertical is.
Yeah, exactly. And you'll get a big following with it too, eventually. Like if you're really passionate about it and you make good videos, people are going to watch you. Like,
exactly.
Make them entertaining. Then you can get out to everybody, not just the people that like peanut butter.
Absolutely. What is your definition of success?
The definition of success. There's probably a lot of definitions that I could say. I wouldn't really, like, obviously it'd be easy to put it like in financial standards, but I would say
I've kind of hit my definition of success. And my definition, I've never really thought about this like word for word, but I would say it's making an impact in the world and like, making a lane for yourself and making an impact in that lane. You can't do everything in the world. I wish I could run 100 YouTube channels. I wish I could, be a CEO of a company. That'd be freaking cool. I wish I can go be a mobile developer still, but I found my lane in my YouTube, and I'm inspiring a lot of other people to, go help people out, to do the same thing. I'm actually making a difference. So like, I feel like that's a lot more a feeling of success internally for me than, making money from my channels or, I guess just being an inspiration to people and like actually, and that doesn't have to be on the level that I do it. Like, obviously I have a YouTube channel or social media platforms that have 23 million followers. I think I would even feel that success once I have kids one day, being an inspiration in their life and like being able to guide them in their life. I think that will be like a huge success for me, like a huge feeling of internal success for me. But business wise, I felt successful because I've been able to inspire people.
Yeah.
I think that's just the easiest way to put it.
Yeah, I love that. Absolutely. I love that. Last couple questions are Wichita specific, but what is your favorite part about Wichita or like a hidden gem in Wichita?
Yeah. Okay. After traveling a lot these past 2 years, I love the traffic here.
I bet. Yeah.
And people are so nice here. Like, it's crazy. Like, I've, just traveling to places like just bigger cities like Memphis, Atlanta, Miami, like all these different places I've traveled to, either, for my honeymoon, for vacation, for, business stuff, collaborations. People are so nice here. like I can go up and like, if I'm getting like fast food real quick or something, people are nice when they're like, when I'm ordering fast food, like in these other places, like I go up there and they're not even looking at me like, what do you want? I'm like, can I get this? They're like, yeah, it'll be this much. I'm like, okay. Like,
how was your day? How's it going?
Yeah. Or just being like a little bit lighter in the face or like
smile, a little smile.
Like, a little smile. Like, people don't do that elsewhere, dude. Like, so yeah, traffic too. Traffic is so nice here. People let you merge in. They'll wave at you as you merge in. Like, yeah, come in, dude.
Yep.
So yeah, Wichita's really, I love the niceness in the community. I love like, we're a bigger city for sure, like in general, but it feels like a smaller town. Like I feel like I can go places, like even, once I take my shirt off, and see people and like that, I'll be like, hey, how's it going?
Yeah.
Like people aren't afraid to say hi and stuff like that. So
Absolutely.
yeah, I love the small feeling of Wichita.
Yeah. It's always like, I always describe it as like, it's like a big, small town, basically.
It is a big, small
it's
town.
got the best parts of both worlds.
Yeah.
Is there anything you wish Wichita had that it doesn't, or what would you improve about Wichita?
Oh, what would I improve? Definitely there's some areas that I mow in where the area is not as well off or is going really downhill. And I kind of wish they got a little bit more support. Specifically like the houses, they're just like, almost all the houses are like falling apart.
Yep.
And like, yeah, I just wish that they got more support overall. And like, that's a hard problem to solve.
Yep.
And like same thing with like seeing people on the side of the street, panhandling or like, which that's gotten a lot more prevalent recently, especially over on the west side, like near Newmarket Square. We didn't used to have panhandlers anywhere. And now we're starting to see panhandlers, starting to see some homeless people over there. I'm like, man, dude, this is weird. Like usually I see those, more downtown, usually in those areas, but it's all around Wichita now. It's everywhere. So I kind of wish there was a little bit more of a solution for that, or something that can be worked towards easier.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. Last question I have before we kind of shout out your channels and stuff. What does Wichita mean to you?
Wichita's my home. I don't think I'll ever move away from here. You know, my family's here, my friends are here, most of my friends are here. My wife's family's here. You know, it's my home and my family. I guess that's what it means to me.
Perfect. I love it. Thanks so much for the interview. Spencer, where can people find you?
Any platform, SB Mowing. You can just look up SB Mowing.
Except for Cash App.
Yeah, don't. I actually got that taken down.
Okay, good.
With
good.
Cash App, yeah.
Good.
So yeah, SB Mowing on any platform, and then SB Pressure Washing, which the pressure washing is really sasatisfying too.
It is. It's
a
what got me hooked on your stuff.
It's a different kind of satisfying.
Yes, it's good.
So.
Awesome. Well, thank you, sir. I hope we can catch back up. Probably like 50 or 100 million total by the next time we talk.
I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, thanks for having me.